What's up, Cowboy Nation? Let's go. Appreciate everybody. Really do. Let's get this thing going one way or another. All right, so for those who just now tuning in, my name is Law Nation, L-A-W Nation. You can follow me on Instagram at Laws Nation, as well as the Roku's, the iTunes, Spotify, you name it, I'm there. So we're going to talk a little bit about are the Dallas Cowboys making the right decisions to in the free agency market. We already know that a lot of times players that's in the free agent market are said that they're getting paid too much money, meaning that the value of the free agency is just too high. So a lot of times it's best for me to look at it from this aspect of it. It's always better that the Cowboys go and get that free agent after the draft. That's how I look at it. After the draft, it's a better situation because the money aspect is just not going to be there as far as the demand. And a lot of times also the teams that you will think that they have a veteran guy out there, they get rid of that guy. They do. They get rid of him because they got the guy that they wanted in the draft, and they want to have all of their love and adulations towards that particular guy. So let's just pull up what was said yesterday. It's not going to be a long show. We're going to pull up this right here. It was about the aspect of getting this guy right here. And I really appreciate you all that's tuning in to the nation. Really do. All right, so it was about Calvin Watkins. Report on Twitter. He says, let's clear this up. A source tells the Athletic DFW the Cowboys have no interest in Earl Thomas or Landon Collins. The financial price is just too steep. This isn't a new news to us, Cowboys fans. You guys already know that every year we go about this and we talk about, hey, what about this guy? What about Talib? They say, nah. What about Revis? They say, no. What about, I guess you can say when, what's that guy, Hadamakin Sue was out there. We said, no, we don't have the money. We don't have the cash. What about a Ron Darby making a trade for him? No, we said, no. We benefit by taking care of our own guys. Now, this is the thing. In so many factors, in so many ways, I can say this right now, deep down in the bottom of my heart. I can say this right here. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, they're right a little bit about that, because if you can develop your own guys, man, it save you so much money. It do. Now, if you want to be stable in that type of situation, yes. That is the best way to approach this thing. It is the best way to approach it, because now you can look at it like this, Cowboy Nation. You can really look at it like this. You can say to yourself, hey, with all these things going on right now, and picture this right now, with all these things that's happening, you can say, man, we're not in no financial hell because we got what we wanted. We got players that dominating. We got players that's picking it up, like the Byron Jones of the world, the Jalen Smith, the LVE, the Xavier Woods, the Cheeto Awuzie. We can go on and on and on and say, hey, those decisionings to draft those particular guys worked out tremendously for us. It did, So we can look at it in those parameters, or we can look at it and say, hey, Cowboy Nation, boy, we are in a funk, because in order for us to win the Super Bowl, sometimes and oftentimes you have to figure out a way to reach around and grab that veteran guy. Just the bottom line. You got to. But let me know how you guys feel about that, because if you look at it collectively, and I'm going to say this again, if you look at it collectively, you can say, man, are we one or two explosive guys away from winning this thing? Are we that close from getting this thing going? Man, or is it so far apart that we really can't get this thing in the right parameters? It's crazy in a sense, But that's just how it goes, man. That's just how it goes. Let me pull up. Now I got the chat box behind me. All right, so really appreciate each and every last one of you all. This is the thing. Shout out to Kerry Teagle. Shout out to Polo NQ, man. Thank you. And Sheila Neal, thank you. Niner, Nathaniel, legendary fan. Appreciate you, man. A 49er fan in the house, man. Shout out to you. Boomer Sooner. All of you guys. Ray, thank you. 60K. Let's get it real. Laugh out loud. That is funny. This is the thing. When we talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the free agency moves, in order for us to make it to that next level, out of all these safeties that's out here, I really think that we should just try to stretch that dollar out. I love what Xavier Woods can do. I love what Jeff Heath can do on a limited basis, right? We understand that Jeff Heath is a fantastic guy, plays well at times, saved us a lot of times in 2017. But from what I was told, the NFL is always a deal, whereas you have to look at it and say this: evaluation is 365, 24/7, 7 days out of a week. You got to figure out ways to figure out how I can better my best. Now, Eric Weddle, I can understand that. And he's, 33, 34 years old. He's long in the tooth. I think that he's about that age, right? Earl Thomas, I can see where the Cowboys having their reservations on signing a guy that's wanting 15, 14 million, right around that price range. I can see that. Now, Landon Collins of the world, I know his franchise tag was 11 million, so I know that once he gets out there and probably parlay around, and his agent probably saying, well, my client won at least 12. We don't care what the Giants are talking about, but my client won at least 12. Jonathan Abram is Ray. He says at number 58, you pick up Jonathan Abram, and pretty much you wash your hands with all this. Boomer Sooner says Stephen Jones is much like hitting the stubborn button. This is the thing. I love the philosophy of from building from within. I do. I honestly do. I love the notion that we can walk around and say, "Hey, we are the youngest team," and we have one of the youngest offensive coordinators. We love that. We love going around saying that. But you know what would be better? If we win playoff games, if we win a Super Bowl, if we follow the trends of what other teams are doing with how they won the Super Bowl. It's not hidden secrets. It's not. It's not. Hey, it's not. It's the blueprint been out there for 2 decades now. Well, a decade and a half. If you want to think bad enough, you got to go out there and fight for it. And I'm not doubting that the Cowboys are not trying, but in order for you to get that, to host that Lombardi Trophy, you're gonna have to make some type of movement of a calculated risk. You got to. Chuck Wiley, appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. I hope you got your coffee. I got mine. It's brewing. It's getting ready. It's almost there. I can just smell the aroma. So thinking about this, smelling the aroma, Cowboy Nation. In order for us, again, we can go back. See, when opinions becomes facts, now you got to listen, you see. We can go back to every Super Bowl within the last 5 years. We can go back, won or lost teams, and we'll be able to see that free agent move that happened during the offseason that put that team over the top. Now, we got close but no cigar situation last year. Imagine this team without Amari Cooper. That was a transaction. That was like a transitional phase that happened that elevated everyone. And how did that happen? Because we finally took the risk. No risk, no reward. That's just life. And Jerry Jones know that, especially by being a billionaire. But I think that we've been burned so many times. We've been hurt so many times that we look at this picture different, and we don't want to grab that guy, and it'll be waste to us. But this is the thing: how you can overcome this, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, supercharged Cowboy and loving Aries. Appreciate you for tuning in to the nation. You know how we can just overcome all this, Cowboy Nation? If you just take a little risk. Yes. This Jawman says, what do you think about Jordan Lewis at safety with Xavier Woods? No, I don't like the idea that Jordan Lewis be the safety. I would rather for them to kick or slide Cheeto Awuzie out to be in safety. One can argue he can play box inside, and he got a little bit more anticipation, follow through and flow with the ball as it relates to playing inside. He had just look up his college tape. He can play inside, and you some lengthy, long, rangy guys that's in this draft that you can work out in that corner spot. You can keep Xavier Woods, and maybe that could be the issue resolved type of situation. And you could draft up and beef up that front four. I like the pressure going into the inside. Remember, the Legion of Boom, when they won the Super Bowls, or won that one Super Bowl, they could have won multiple Super Bowls, pressure was coming from the inside. They didn't have an edge rusher like a D-Law. They didn't have an edge rusher, of course you can say Bennett, but he wasn't no D-Law. Let's be real about it. Guys, name me a dominant edge rusher that played for the New England Patriots. There's really, you can argue the fact that the LA Rams didn't have a dominant edge guy. They had a guy that pressured into the inside. So, and you can go on and on and on. The Ravens, I meant to say, they didn't have a dominant edge guy. Well, I take that back. Suggs is a dang on dominant edge guy. But we can look at it, but you got to have pressure into the inside is what I'm trying to say. Well, that's what I'm trying to finagle this argument or conversation to. That's why I really want somebody to have some pressure into the inside. We need to figure that out, you know. Big Pete says no risk, no reward. I agree, Big Pete. It's crazy in a sense. Dallas Cowboys fans for life. Appreciate you. Thank you also for joining in on the Periscope and the Callaway. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Let me pull up this right here just to give you guys some optimism, a little hope, a little love and adulations towards this team. Let me pull this around because a lot of times we get it twisted, right? All-time winning percentage. I've been hearing when I posted this on the Instagram, and I posted it as well as in the community chat on YouTube. A lot of people were saying, "Law, it's cool and all that we top of the game, but we haven't touched that Lombardi Trophy in 23 years. It's been a long drought." And I said, "Okay, what's taking the other team so long to catch up, you know, as far as the all-time winning percentage?" Now, I admit, you know, the Patriots been having a formula that's been winning, but we still on top of things, Cowboy Nation. And everything can turn around this year if we get one more explosive player to help out this offense and one more explosive player to help out this defense. Now, I'm not going to bash all of our off-season moves because it's still young, right? And like I said, there are going to be a lot of guys, tons of guys after the draft. So let whoever go right now. and also don't buy too much into to this statement right here. Let's clear this up. Sources tell the Athletic DFW the Cowboys have no interest in Earl Thomas or Landon Collins because it contradicts itself from a previous weeks. But that Stephen Jones said, "Hey, we're going to be very active in this free agency as it relates to looking for a safety and this sorts of things." So don't buy too much into the media. But look back at the trends. Look, I will be mad if we go get a Joseph Daverson, you know, a guy that we never heard of from the free agency. I just threw up anybody named Joseph Daverson. Hope there's not a real person. We go out there and grab him and say, "Hey, he's going to be the safety help that we need to have to come out there." Hey, we see this time and time again, trying to get those spare parts to put them together and just pray and hope that they can make some type of impact out there. We don't want to do that. We want to reach deep down in our pocket and figure out a way to get something happening. And just don't go crazy with it. Just don't go pay a guy named Brandon Carr $50 million. You know what I mean? All right. So Trey Flowers from the Patriots. This is Polo. He's out there on the market. Yes, he's a suitable guy. We should go after Trey Flowers. Yeah, but this is the thing. I want to go after him after the draft. I don't want to go out there and get a subpar guy, or he's pretty decent, but I want to go out there and get that guy, pay him too much money. Remember, when you pay the guy who's played at a B level, A level money in free agency, and you pay a guy that's playing D level, B level money, so we don't want to go and do that. No. So are the Cowboys making the right decision during this free agency for the 2019? I would still say this. Yes. But after the draft, there's going to be tons of players that's out there. There's going to be veteran players released from teams. There's going to be people that you're going to be like, oh, wow, they got rid of him? Oh, they're not signing him? And that will be the right move to then make that move, because in the last few years, we didn't have enough money. Now, as far as the contract talk of D-Law, my thing is, before we wrap this thing up with D-Law, I will say this. I think that the Cowboys have D-Law's interest in heart. I think they really want D-Law to be on this team. What I think is what's going on is that they already showed their hand. Meaning that when they signed him with the franchise tag of $20 million, 9 times out of 10, that meaning that they are willing to pay this man $20 million a year. Now, the holdup may be the language of the contract. It may also be the guaranteed aspect of the contract. Do he want $60 million guaranteed to match up with Khalil Mack? Or did they submit an offer and said, okay, with $35 million guaranteed, would you work with us? And then he's like, nah, I want 60. And they're probably saying like, look, hey, it's 45 is good. No, I want 60. There's a lot of pride when it comes to money, and especially when you can pull up your data and you can pull up your chart, and he don't have to say a word. His stats can speak for itself, and his agent can do all of the talking. His agent is going to say, hey, my client, number one in rushing off the edge as it relates to pressure, number one in sacks in the last 2 years, or number one in, against the run, defending the run. He ranks 90% of the top of the elite in this particular class. My client. That's what the agent's supposed to be able to do. And D-Law can just sit back, go on a nice little trip to Tahiti. He can go anywhere. He can just go and just do a tons of things. But also it's crazy in a sense, because Dallas like, look, hey, we have gave you this bag. We give you $60 million guarantee. Let me check out that shoulder. Come on, let me take a peek at it. Let me make sure that everything is okay. That's just a problem of this whole negotiation back and forth. Travis Bank, 50 take it or leave it. You talking about $50 million guaranteed, stretched over. Let's just make up a contract right quick. I got a couple more minutes. What it will be? 4 year, $20 million a year. Would that work out for everyone? 4 years, $20 million a year, with $50 million guaranteed out of the 4 years, or you stretch it out to be 5? 5 year, $20 million a year, $50 million guaranteed. That's kind of like half and half, right? All right. It says right here, thank you for making a donation for the Help Grow the Nation, Subliminal. The Jones family is frugal, right? When it comes to signing free agencies or free agent players, that's why we get the Joseph Jameson in free agency. Come up off the bread, Jerry. He says, just open up the wallet, Jerry. Come up off the bread, Jerry. Last year we were still paying Orlando Scandrick. Year previous before that, we were actually, believe it or not, we were still paying Miles Austin. We had some dead money to get, that we had to try to work out, like the Tony Romo money. We also had, there's another guy that we were still paying. I forgot his name. He wasn't of any impact, but I feel what you're saying, and I think what happened here is the Cowboys been snake bitten so many times, and that's just the bottom line. They've been snake bitten so many times that they looking at this thing and they're just scared. They scared to make that move. Now I would say this: the team that got from under there, those filthy Philadelphia Eagles, man, they figured out a way to get from under that cap hell, and they traded. Remember, they had a big, massive contract with Byron Maxwell, and they had also another contract with this guy. Chip Kelly just demolished that team, but they was crafty enough to not fall in love with their players. And they got rid of this guy, they got rid of that guy, they picked up this guy, and they got rid of that guy, and it worked out for them. we are in the stage where. And I love my team, and I know all you guys love it too. But we at the stage that we hold on to a player maybe a year or 2 years too long, and then we figure out a way we don't, and then we get rid of the guy, and they walk for free. Like DeMarco Murray, he walked for free. We didn't get nothing in return. Anthony Hitchens, he kind of sort of like walked for free. Jeremy Purnell, he walked for free. Big Ron Leary, he walked for free. These guys, we didn't get nothing in return. That's made us go out there, and Brandon Carr, used Carr, he walked for free. We didn't negotiate it enough so that we can trade these guys. Mo Claiborne, the guy that we developed for a quick second that didn't know nobody really wanted, but he pretty much limped out of here for free. So those are guys that we didn't turn the bottom of our roster around, and we started to look back at it, and we'll say to ourselves, man, we don't know how to will and deal. We know how to draft well. We know how to define that talent. Like I guess this other guy that we developed, what's his name? Bruce Carter. Remember him? We took years for him to get right. He played one good solid year, and we said, you know what? We let you get out of here for free. The other kid, I can go on and on and on. This is crazy. And this is off the top of my dome. The other guy from London, Crawford, what's his name? Jack Crawford, got out of here scot-free. we didn't know how to finagle those things, you see. And what happened here, these guys leave the team, and they go to another team, and we just used them all the way up. Whereas you don't get nothing in return. You depend on the compensatory picks or what have you. Now, trust me, I love the compensatory picks, but let's be real about it. It's not like trading a guy away. Like the Barry Churches of the world, he got out of here scot-free. Even Orlando Scandrick, we didn't do anything for him for 10 years. So there should be ways. J.J. Wilcox, and I go on and on and on. These guys are not elite in a sense, but you should be able to get some return on your investments, especially those who you drafted. We got to figure out ways to stop falling in love